Welcome to the news update. We start right away with the KENS 5 news at 6 a.m. If you want to stream KENS 5 directly on your phone, make sure you download the KENS 5 app today. This is how you get the latest local coverage delivered straight to your device.
Stop using your finger for notes, sketches, and edits. This Jam Jake stylus pen gives your iPad a smoother, more precise writing feel with palm rejection so your hand can rest naturally on the screen. It charges fast, works for hours, and comes with replacement tips. Perfect for school, work, or creative projects. Check the link in the comments to grab it on Amazon.
Next up, we turn our attention to a serious situation developing in Pinehurst. A man named Luke Archer Hoover, 24, has been charged with communicating threats of mass violence on educational property. According to the arrest warrant, Hoover allegedly threatened to shoot a victim at a public venue on social media. He was arrested overnight and is set to appear in court on Tuesday, facing additional charges including violating his probation. Now, let's switch gears to Washington, D.C., where the fight over funding is heating up. EPA Administrator Lee Zeldin kicked off his congressional hearing with a major confrontation, defending a fiscal 2027 budget proposal that would drastically cut his agency's funding down to just $4.2 billion, which is more than half of its current budget. Zeldin didn't hold back, sparring on chemicals, climate change, and deregulation as he pushed this contentious proposal. Finally, we look at education across the nation. The National Education Association reports that Florida's average teacher pay remains at the bottom of national data, ranking 19th for starting salary. Despite a small increase, the Florida Education Association President Andrew Spar warns that teacher shortages are disrupting learning, citing increased class sizes and staff layoffs. This report highlights the financial instability facing Florida schools and the critical need for legislative action. Stay with us for more breaking news. KENS 5 News, broadcast at 6 a.m., is emphasizing its mobile presence for viewers. To access the KENS 5 broadcast on smartphones, users are directed to download and utilize the dedicated KENS 5 application. The broadcast schedule features upcoming content, with teasers for the next segments available for viewing. This highlights the station's commitment to multi-platform delivery of its news content. A Pinehurst man has been charged with communicating threats of mass violence on educational property. Luke Archer Hoover, 24, is accused of threatening on social media his intent to shoot a victim at a public venue, according to an arrest warrant issued by a North Carolina State University officer on April 23. Hoover was arrested overnight and is scheduled to appear in court on Tuesday. In addition to the threat charge, Hoover is also facing allegations of violating his probation. Lee Zeldin launched his congressional hearing tour this week with a sharp confrontation, defending the Environmental Protection Agency's fiscal 2027 budget proposal before the House Appropriations Subcommittee. The proposal seeks to drastically reduce the agency's funding to $4.2 billion, representing more than half of its current enacted budget. The proposed cuts immediately sparked intense scrutiny from both political sides. Zeldin utilized the hearing to engage in vigorous debate across multiple contentious issues, including chemical regulations, climate change policy, and the administration's push for deregulation. The session was characterized by Zeldin's combative style as he defended the agency's financial needs against the proposed severe reductions. Florida's average teacher pay remains significantly low compared to the national average, according to recent data from the National Education Association. The union reported that Florida's average starting salary of $49,435 places it at 19th in the nation, while the overall average teacher salary of $56,663 ranks 50th among all 50 states and Washington, D.C. While the average teacher pay saw a modest increase of 3.3% between the 2024-2025 and 2025-2026 school years, this rise was deemed insufficient to improve Florida's national standing. In stark contrast, Mississippi was identified as the only state with a worse average teacher salary in the latest NEA report. Florida Education Association President Andrew Spar voiced serious concerns, linking low pay to systemic issues within the education system. SPAR highlighted disruptions to student learning, citing instances where students lost their full roster of teachers for an entire school year. He warned that when public funds are diverted, teachers cannot afford to remain in the profession, leading to cuts in essential services, layoffs, and increased class sizes that ultimately harm students. The data also points to broader fiscal instability. Florida experienced one of the largest drops in public school enrollment between 2024 and 2025, more than doubling the national decrease rate. The FEA attributed this instability partly to the legislature's failure to pass a budget before the regular session, which is exacerbating financial strains and staff layoffs. Historical rankings show a trend of stagnation. Florida ranked 16th for starting salary in 2023 and 2024, and moved to 17th in 2025 for starting salary, though its overall average salary consistently ranked at 50th. National comparisons show significant disparities, with California leading the nation in average teacher salary at $103,552, followed by New York and Washington state. In a move to address the issue, Governor Ron DeSantis proposed a budget recommendation in December requesting $1.56 billion specifically targeted for teacher pay raises, aiming for nearly 15% more investment than the previous year. The governor stressed that earmarking funds for teacher pay can ensure resources reach the classroom. Initial budget proposals from the House and Senate included similar funding levels, though spending for the upcoming fiscal year has not yet been approved. The state budget for the 2024-2025 fiscal year included approximately $1.25 billion allocated for salary increases. The Florida Department of Education has not yet issued a response to requests for comment regarding the NEA data.